Oh, posting my link. Oh, posting my link. Oh, posting my link. Hey, I'm putting my link in all of the chats. Hee hee.
Are you already live?
Yeah. Haha. You smoked your weed? Nice, nice. Okie dokie. Let's get washing some spinach. Oh, we got a lot of spinach today. Gorgeous, gorgeous, huge spinach. Just want to take all the butt end off of this. Fofo Kodon, yup. Fofo Kodon. Fofo. Alrighty. This plus chicken, yup, yup. This plus some chicken. What's cooking? Hello, Safi. Welcome. We're making Oyakodon. Nothing's cooking just yet, but oh ho ho, give it a minute. Oh ho ho, give me a minute. Yeah, we're doing Oyakodon today. I wanted something incredibly simple. We're getting into the the holiday part of the year, and I wanted to just really keep it about as simple as possible for my good self here. So we're doing a little spinach on the side, hence the spinach here. Oyakodon, huh? Oyakodon, huh? Yeah, precisely. Alright. Alright, that feels pretty good and washed. This is a dish that if you're really pressed for time, you can whip this whole thing together in the time it takes the rice to cook. But in the interest of having a little more content on stream, and also just going about as nicey as possible, I'm doing a little luxuriously. Also doing a little spinach for a side dish today. Just sort of do it like sort of Korean side dish style, like a banchan. Panchan? I'm not sure. I think it's more like a panchan than anything else, but that's okay. You know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. Alright, cool. That is that. And it is a lot of spinach, but we're gonna wilt it all down, so it's gonna shrink a lot. So, and then I'll have leftovers, and leftovers are nice, because then you can eat it later. So, it'll be good. Has anyone said it yet? Has anyone said what yet? I mean, the stream's just started, so whatever you want to say, I think the floor is yours. Spinach. Alrighty. Cool, we got that soaking up a little bit now. Let's get some water for the spinach to blanch in. And let me get, you know what, this has got to, yeah, green bin's full. And we're just gonna remember to put it out before the end of the day, so pardon me here, a little bit of that. Oh, fuck. Okay. What does Oyakodon mean? Oh, we know what Oyakodon means. The parent and egg bowl, baby. The parent and child bowl. Family meal. Healthy amount of salt in the water for seasoning. Grab a nice onion. This one looks like it's either going to be fine or need a lot of trimming. Let's see which one it is. Really good gifts. Thank you very much. Alrighty. Give my spinach a spin. Yesterday, Cami made an unbelievable quantity of wontons, and I then deep fried that unbelievable quantity of wontons. But there's even more where that came from, I am told. So we might see Cami in the background wrapping up even more wontons with the excess filling that she still has. Yay. Yay. Wontons. It's time to use up a little bit of that rice.
Grabbing a bowl for you.
Hee hee, of course. Can you play Lil B wonton soup? No, I'm trying to not get demonetized on these, but thank you. That is a good it is a good suggestion. Okay. We got one little dud in there. Take you out. Okay. Rice everywhere. Hee hee. That's like a half? That's like a little short of a half. Oh, that's a rice. Now what's this granules? now what's this granules I love? What's all this granules about now? You hear? Oh, new rice. Okay. Oh, I did it correctly. Oh, look at that. Oh, and the thread came out. Was listening to a lot of Vince Staples while losing at Dota really bad. And Vince Staples is so good. Alright, that'll make 2 cups ballpark. That's good enough for me. Let's turn that heat on, actually. It might take a hot minute. My buddy and I... The fish eye fucked me. Oh, lol. Okay. My buddy made a handbag from a rice bag. Damn, that sounds awesome. So I'm sure you're just gonna set it up here so that the spinach will do its blanching thing, can bring it out, it'll be fine to go. I guess we got a little bit of crap to burn off on the stovetop or something. That's exciting. Well, I'll put the fan on now, I guess. Actually, that is probably the excess oil from all the wonton frying, come to think of it. One of those weave ones. Oh, cool. That sounds awesome. So yeah, if you're making this in a rush, basically you do the rice first. Everything else can be prepped and cooked by the time the rice is ready to go. So this is going to be a faster one for sure. But I think the spinach, you know, will be a nice little... We'll dress up the spinach niceies. It'll be nice time. Nice food. Nice and my nice food. And it's nice and we like it. Yep. And we're just gonna do it super simple. We're gonna be blanching the spinach until it's a nice color, taking it out, little ice water shock, and then once it's in the ice water, you sort of wring it out with your hands, and you sort of give it a light chop, and then it's a really simple classic dressing: sesame oil, soy sauce, vinegar, a little salt, a little pepper, little scallions, and then that'll be pretty good to go. And a little bit of raw garlic too, I think probably. It'll make it a nice little kick. And honestly, the spinach can sort of like sit for a little bit and sort of eat up that dressing, and it'll be very, very nice. So we're gonna have the spinach probably be done first, and then we'll set it to dress while the everything else gets ready to go here. I've got just about a pound of chicken for 2 people, which is pretty easy. And I'm just gonna add like 2 eggs on the top. You'll see about the eggs later. You're a scallionaire. I feel wealthy. I feel wealthy in the green right now. I'm rolling in the green, frankly. Alright, probably like 2 more rinses and we're good to go here on the rice. Whenever it's the bottom of the rice bag, I always feel like all the excess starch collects, all that like dusty dust. So you gotta give it a lot more extra care, in my opinion. Rolling in the green like Adele Dazeem. That's crazy that he did that. I can't believe that they put too much Scientology medicine inside of him that he failed to pronounce the name of a fellow celebrity. Could never be me. If the Scientology church wanted to meet... if I was the one being paid to stay in the closet, I would like lock in, you know? I would like pay attention. But also I'm sure it's hard or whatever. What's that one tweet where it's like, it sounds like you're just feeding X to the Y, and then he started crying? Church, it sounds like... Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. It sounds like you're just feeding masseuses to the closeted members of Scientology, and then John Travolta started coming. Alright, so we spilled a bit of rice, so we're going to adjust under 2 cups in the water there. And that'll be ready to rumble for when we need it. Probably hold off punching that for a little bit until the water for the spinach is ready to go. And as far as other greens, I'm going to try and get all of our veggie prep out of the way before the chicken hits the board, only because there's not a lot of veggie prep to do today, so it should be easy to do it all before I need to lock in with anything else. What was the original post? I don't remember. Cammy, you said it was about coyotes?
I think so. It's like cats and coyotes, or like something like that.
Yeah, it's like, it sounds like you're feeding the cats to the coyote or something like that. I can't remember. But it's like, I was talking with so-and-so, and she said that they have the this problem, and said that they get a new cat whenever the this eats it or something. And then it just said, it sounds like you're feeding cats to this coyote, and then she started crying. And it's something like that. I think Cammy's right. Cats and coyotes sounds really familiar. But I do not remember. Wow, this is some...
It's like an outdoor cat, and every time it goes away and doesn't come back, she gets one that looks the same and has the same name.
Oh my god. An outdoor cat where whenever it doesn't come back, she just gets a duplicate of that cat that looks the same with the same name. Imagine if you're the coyote. You must be confused as hell. You'd be like, Dad, I thought I already ate that. Me looking in the fridge sometimes, low-key. Alright, these are some sprouted ass garlics, but it should be nice. I'm just gonna slice up like the one nicest one here. I'm just gonna put that into thin little slices for the Oyakodon itself. And the rest I'll hold back for the spinach preparation, I think. Cool. Oh yeah, well there's some older ones. I'm using the older ones first. There is a bunch of sprouted garlic, but I don't think it's a big deal.
I didn't know we still had older ones. I bought new garlic like the other day.
What's the vibe on sprouted garlic? I always just use them. Yeah, they're fine to use. They're just older, and it usually means if you want to have them in any sort of raw preparation, they're usually going to be unbelievably strong compared to non-sprouted garlic. It's going to be like a much punchier, some would say wildly unpleasant flavor. You can also add a green color, which I found to be very bad sometimes. I tried to make toom one time with sprouted garlic, and it just turned out like bright green, wickedly bitter, and the spiciest thing I've ever had in my life. It was honestly poison. It was crazy. So there's some places where sprouted garlic just isn't going to do, but most of the time it's like fine. If you're cooking it, it is fine. If you're cooking the garlic in any way, it'll be fine. We are adding this in raw to the spinach, but it's a very small quantity, so I'm thinking it'll work out fine. The wickedly bitter Adele Dazeem. That's right. The bitter and wickedly evil Adele Dazeem. It's crazy because at some point in saying that, he just had to sort of admit that he was giving up. I keep thinking about how that would work if that happened to me, what I would do. Sprouted garlic also tends to be a lot stickier, generally a little bit harder to handle, but that's all pretty minor in the grand scheme. So don't worry about that too much. It shouldn't really affect anything. And then we're gonna do 1 whole onion for the actual Oyakodon here. Just a nice regular cooking onion, nothing crazy. And we're gonna half that thing, and then we're gonna do polar slices, which is when we go sort of like tip to tail. It's gonna help keep its shape when it cooks down a bit. You'll see what I mean in a second. It's very simple. It's incredibly simple and easy to understand. I'm sure you'll all agree. I'm gonna move this away from my onion peels. This part looks a little bit crappy. I'm just gonna take this off a little bit here. Yeah, that'll be good. Yeah, that'll be good. The onion. And that's a little trim on the nose here. Boom. And that should be all of our onion trimmed up. So I'm just gonna get the garbage out first, get rid of our little pile of crap here, and then we'll lock in, cut our onion niceys, cut the scallion a little bit too. And we're basically so close to being done with dinner, it's not even funny. Water's starting to get up there for the spinach, looking good. I'm just gonna go like about centimeter-ish slices all the way down. Make sure you take the root off and it'll make splitting them all up a lot easier. Yes, these are now going on YouTube. I have figured out the general upload procedure. I think I'm behind on last week, but today's stream and tomorrow's stream will be going up real soon as well. And yeah, if you want to check out some old VODs, up to a point. I definitely missed a big chunk from the early days because I just didn't know how the uploading worked exactly. So, but if you want to catch any of the recent stuff, they should all be on YouTube real soon if they're not already. Okay, that is our water. So we're now going to go big ol' handfuls of spinach and just piling it up crazy style. It's fine. The steam will hit all the way to the top. It will be all good. And that's that. And I'm going to get my big ol' spider. We're gonna wilt this all down. This is not gonna take more than like 20 seconds, so I'm just gonna, in the time it takes me to grab ice and dump it into my red bucket here, I'm gonna be pretty much entirely done. Beautiful. And get you back in the freezer. And that's a pretty nice color, isn't it there? And that is looking nice and wilted and super, super good. So we're gonna turn the heat off immediately. You don't need a lot of ice, just enough ice to bring the water like to an actually properly cool temperature. And then all this is gonna get taken right out. Try and drain off the water, but don't take too long. This is the part that is time sensitive. So grab all that. And one last little go around here for the extra guys. And look at that, our beautiful green water is all done. And once it's in the ice water, sort of just loosen it up a bit so it cools down nice and fast. This is what lets us keep our awesome color, and that is basically the hardest part of making the spinach all done. So there you go. The cold bowl and the spider. That's right. I'm just gonna chunk up this onion into like nice long bits here. It's been chunked up. I'm just gonna try and separate most of the little guys here. Doesn't take too long. It's a nice step to just do for yourself so that you're not like fucking around with it in the pan too much. And there is one clove of garlic in here, which is not traditional for Oyakodon by any means. Oyakodon is one of those classic, extremely mildly seasoned Japanese meals, but I always like adding a bit of garlic in whenever I can, so you know that's me. You know that I'm gonna be doing that, so. And then just chunk these guys up in here, get them all more or less broken apart, and you're about good to go. And all of that right in there. And out. This one looked kind of crappy, so I took it out. And there we go. And now, this is warm to the touch, but cool enough to handle. I'm just gonna add in some more cold water. And once it's like a room temperature water situation, your spinach is gonna be not cooking any further, so we're good. And you don't want to soak it in here for too long either. It will start to take on more of that moisture. So we're gonna start doing the wringing out process now. I'm still gonna hold off on the rice for just a little bit. We haven't really got the chicken trimmed yet. Like I said, this is all pretty easy stuff, so I'm not too concerned about time here at all. If anything, I'm concerned about having enough time to make the stream be like a meaningful amount of time. Yeah, just give it a good tight squeeze. Get all the excess moisture out there. And you can see how 2 big bundles of spinach is now going to be like basically 3 tight handfuls of spinach once it's all squeezed like this. When you squeeze it, you're really just looking to get rid of moisture. You're not looking to damage the spinach that much. It is fully cooked through. It is going to be delicate, and you will be breaking some of the plant fibers when you do this, but just, you know, your goal is not to wring this out like a sponge. Your goal is to wring this out like a nice leaf that you still want to eat. So keep that in mind when you're wringing it out. You're not trying to get all of the liquid out of every single cell of this leaf. You just want the moisture that's on the outside of the plants in between the leaves to sort of like not be so in the way. Oh, hi, baby.
Hi.
How's dumplings going?
Oh, good. I folded them all.
Nice. She's that good.
All the wrappers.
Sorry, I'm just gonna tuck this in here. All right, boom. I'm just gonna do this as well. Green water. Alright, so we got this for our little salad. We got this for our stovetop. I'm gonna get the pan ready. Oyakodon is one of those things where it's gonna sit completely full in the pan. So it's gonna look a little bit crazy in a pan that's this small, but it is gonna work out. I'm gonna get a couple of these things. Oh, sorry.
I'm almost out of your way.
It's okay. I got about 3 nice medium scallions here. Love you. Good job wrapping. Your wonton wrap for this year says that you wrapped several wontons. That's crazy. You were the #1 wonton wrapper in this household. Did you know that, baby?
I know.
She knows. That's right. So I want some scallion to sort of to garnish the top of the actual oyakodon. I want some scallion chopped really fine to go into the spinach, which I now have a bowl for, so I can sort of take that over. And we'll make this happen. So I'm gonna put this all in here. I'm going to actually scoop it out and put it all in there. And the fresh scallions can all live in here for the finishing. So we'll do like first third of this nice and fine just to garnish the oyakodon. And heat on, we're gonna start the rice. The rice might be lagging just a little bit with this timing, but we should be pretty close. I wanted to tell you, oh yes. Oh, I should go on some walks with you, that's right, that'll be fun. Oh yeah, it's shooting star and comet season right now, I heard this to be true. That's cool, that's really cool. So for the spinach, I'm just basically gonna like sort of take these big chunks, sort of give them a nice cut just so that there's no incredibly long individual pieces hanging out here. I'm just doing this now while I still have the cutting board out. Yeah, let's do one of those and something like this. I'll do something very similar. Just like a couple little chops like that, just to knock any of the largest pieces out of contention here. Clean off the cutting board. The rest of these scallions are going to go right into the spinach. And then we'll finally open up the chicken and take a look at what we're doing to it to make it really nice for our simple and awesome meal. Oyakodon, baby. Yeah, my knife's starting to get a little dull again. I feel as though someone might have been using it a little bit shitty in this house. Probably me, honestly, but I just need to get better at sharpening it, so get ready for another sharpening stream soon, I guess. Alright, let's get all that crap off there. Rinse you off. Okay, back in the fridge for you. I think this pan's ready to go. So I'm gonna get a bit of nice neutral oil in there. We're not cooking super strong or hard right now, so just a little bit of neutral oil, just so this shit don't stick or burn. I'm gonna give the onions a sort of just a very light sweating out for a couple minutes here. And that can go in here. I can actually hear it going a little bit hard, so I'm going to turn this heat down a bit. Yeah, I have a big nice piece here. Let's get that broken up real quick. Yeah, that'll be nice. With that piece in there, yeah. Oh, you're one of those guys. You're one of those central bulb thingies. That'll be fine. Okay, cool. Alrighty. The onion toucher. You got to know your chicken. Let's get to know our chicken now. Oh my god, pardon me, guys. Been a little bit phlegmy all day today, not like sicky feeling, and I did get my flu shot, so hope it's not that, but I did wake up feeling a little bit dry and a little bit stuffed, but I think it should be okay. So I've got about a pound of chicken thighs here, and we're really not going to do much to this. I'm just being, like I said, extra judicious in my delicate attention to detail on the treatment of this chicken, because Oyakodon is a really fussy little dish, and getting a little bit of the stuff that you're not going to get a chance to touch in such a quick time of cooking is nice. So any excess fat you do kind of want gone, because you're not really going to render it. Same thing with any like large pieces of what looks like a silver skin here. So this little bit here, I don't love it actually. I'm gonna try and just sort of skim some of that off. But basically just give it a once over, check for any excess fat. Like all of this is really not gonna do anything in our dish, and chicken fat is so lovely. This is the kind of thing where if you wanted to save it and render it out, that would actually be really nice. But you need quite a bit for that to be worthwhile, so I can't wholeheartedly recommend that for the average person, but it is not a bad thing to keep in mind. Oh man, the knife is fucking struggling right now. This is bad. I'm gonna sharpen this thing again. Okay, we got a bunch more excess fat on here as well, actually. I'm just gonna try and get that off. Time to give our onions a good shake. That one looks about good. I'm gonna put this guy aside. That one looks good. This one here, I felt pretty exhausted and sluggish this morning. I'm not gonna lie, baby. So if you notice this, you're perceptive, and you're also right. These are some really good. These are some really nice chicken thighs. These would be great for a dish that isn't Oyakodon. I'm not gonna lie, because the excess fat here looks so good. Just taking the fat off. That's good. So I sort of want to talk about this as well with this dish, is that there's a couple different ways to generally think about proteins. Basically, any protein can be treated one of two ways. You can either work with the protein or sort of work to deconstruct the protein. And I will now explain what I mean by that. So essentially, if you have a nice steak, if you have a steak that is nice and lean and you want to cook it fast and get a really thin sear on it and have the middle be nice and pink, that is sort of like working with the protein. You are working to showcase what the protein is like and not try and like reconstruct it or reconstitute in any meaningful way, you know? I hope that makes sense. Wow, they didn't clean this one super good. This is a mucky muck situation. And if you are doing barbecue, let's say, for example, barbecue is all about totally breaking down and deconstructing a protein. So if you have a rack of ribs, that rack of ribs is super tough and super chewy, but it is that same toughness and chewiness that would then make it especially tender once you are able to break down all that collagen and those extra proteins and materials and all the tough stuff in between. And so I think of there being a spectrum of how to treat meat with steak and like, you know, as is on one end, and you know, something like barbecue at the extreme opposite end, where it's like you are trying to completely turn everything that makes that cut of meat what it is against itself. And it takes a lot of transformation, a lot of heat, and a lot of time to make those transformations happen. You can also use like acid or other stuff. There's other things that will cause that transformation that isn't just heat and time. But with meat, we're talking a lot about heat and time, right? Low and slow, hot and fast, things like that, right? These are the terms you often hear bandied about. This is kind of like a little fucked looking, but I think it's just excess blood and it's going to be fine. I'm not seeing a lot of tough tissues at all. I'm not seeing any more little bony bone fragments. I'm just going to do a good skim on this chunk of fat here, and then I think we're good. We're done on the trim. And so with something like a gumbo, right? You have a chicken thigh. A chicken thigh is still poultry, so it's not like it's an incredibly demanding piece of protein, right? Like chicken thigh, you can cook that fried chicken in like 20 minutes, right? Even less. So it's not like you need to break that down a lot, but when you have a stew like that, you are taking the chicken past that point of you know, that gentle cook, right? So when you do that, that is like, you know, you're going long. You're looking to deconstruct some of those proteins and those fibers. That is not what Oyakodon is about. Oyakodon is a dish that involves chicken thigh, and it is served up in a broth and in a sauce, but it is not a dish about breaking down the chicken. This is about lightly poaching our chicken at a simmer temperature, which is going to cook chicken thigh in like a handful of minutes. It cooks very, very quickly. This piece of onion looks like paper. I'm getting rid of you. I don't like you. So this is about as sauteed as I want to go. So in a second here, I'm just going to cube this up, wash my hands one last time, and then we can start getting everything tossed in here. I'm going to turn this way down, actually. I like to make sure that the rice sort of syncs up with it. And I think the rice is set to wildly outpace our onions, actually, so I'm turning the heat off for now. We'll talk about what goes into the sauce. Sort of like the broth for the Oyakodon. Let's see here. I'm gonna get this bowl back out. This is a clean sink. It's a clean sink. I'm just gonna cube my chicken, toss it in here. For the chicken, we're going for like bite-sized pieces, right? And the best way to do bite-size on a thigh is I like to do sort of a couple things. I'll show you in a second. This is me doing it fast. God, this thing really looks like hell. I'm sure it'll be fine, but it really looks insane right now. Oh, little niblet of that tendon. There's a really strong tendon at the base of the thigh to where it connects to the kneecap and stuff, and that shit is not gonna fly super good in a gentle preparation like this. So when I went about an extra careful trimming job, the main thing that I'm doing there is just making sure that any of that stuff that would be great for a stew is not our concern in this dish today. So a little excess bit of that silver skin, take that off whenever possible. The excess fat, which would normally make a stew really nice and rich, is going to make our broth really cloudy and kind of greasy here. So we're getting rid of that. So chicken thigh, you know, you get this thing from the store, debone and stuff. It's got like a little half and a big half. Cut the little half off and then do 1 or 2 pieces, depending on or 2 or 3 pieces, depending on how big that is. And then your wider piece here, you have this big bit of like sort of like the meat of like the hamstring, basically. Go underneath that because you don't want to break that apart because it'll start to fall off if you break it apart too much. And there we go. So that's my general like bite-sized pieces rule of thumb for chicken thigh. So little half, big half. Little half gets cut off right here. This one's a little bit tall, so I'll do 3 pieces here. I'll do 3 chunks. And then this half, once again, you see that there's, I would love to just do a full chicken breakdown one day and sort of just really get into detail about the where the muscles on a chicken are, because I thought that was super helpful in like learning how to treat like grocery store cuts. But yeah, so we had that nice big part, that's like the meat of the hamstring, and I'm leaving that nice and intact. I have a little bit of this little like kneecap tendon shit here. I'm just gonna trim this off. This is the most aggressive I will ever trim a piece of chicken thigh, but for this dish, I find it really makes a difference. Pardon me. Also, welcome, Claire, welcome. I did not greet you on the way in, but you're here now, and that's what matters. Welcome, welcome. So yeah, that's basically how I like to break down a chicken thigh for bite-sized pieces, which is perfect for this dish. And then yeah, all that trimming I did, I think in the average, any stew I'm making, I would not care about doing half of that trimming. But in this case, it matters a lot. And this is the difference between like a piece of chicken that is nice, but you have to like think about it. And like, you know that feeling you have when you are biting into a piece of food and you know exactly what that texture is going to be like and it does not disappoint you. This is why people in North America hate fish bones, okay? Fish bones are a very interrupting texture when you are eating a piece of fish, because fish classically very soft and delicate. We all know this to be true. These are pre-deboned. Yeah, these are boneless, skinless thighs, which are usually the most expensive cut at the store for chicken leg. I'm also not sure how common it is elsewhere, but in North America, it's definitely one of the more common ways you can find chicken thighs. Definitely the most expensive because the most processing has to happen on the protein, you know? So our chicken's all done here. No seasoning, we're not gonna worry about that. The broth is pretty concentrated, so we're just gonna worry about the broth for like the main flavor stuff right now. I'm going to bring out the garbage can one more time. Our little compost. Can't wait to be done with this for the evening. We are waiting for the bins to get taken back around. Yesterday was garbage day. And when that happens, this puppy is going into the outside green bin. Thank God. Okay, let's get this like that. Beautiful. One last hand wash. Put this in the sink for now. I know usually I relish the opportunity to do dishes while on stream, but this one goes pretty quick, so we'll see if I get around to it. However, there will be a time to sit and watch. But now basically we're assembling 2 different dressings. One of them is going to be our liquid for the Oyakodon, our nice broth. And one of them is going to be like our salad dressing for the spinach side dish here, the banchan. So, pretty easy stuff. Let's go for the banchan second, because I want to get this chicken on the heat. So, a little bowl here. Here's the stuff that is a little bit, not even like hard to find, but this is the stuff that makes this really work. We have hondashi powder, which is somewhere here, somewhere in the house. Hondashi powder. If I were that, where would I be? I might not have any right now. That's weird. I could have sworn I had some. Babe, do we have any of the hondashi powder, or am I crazy? Okay. If you have hondashi powder, I highly recommend it. If you don't, here's what we're gonna do instead. I have this stuff called memi noodle soup base. This is basically like a sweetened hondashi that's sort of reduced a bit. So we're gonna toss this in here. We're just gonna make like a nice little like broth. Keep in mind we're just like gently poaching, but then the broth is gonna be like sort of our finish as well. I'm using a little bit of Maggi just for that chicken enhancing kick. I'm using some soy sauce as well, of course. And I like to do rice vinegar when I have it. It looks like we don't have it right now. Oh, never mind. Big old thing at the top here. Very cool. How the fuck does this open? Okay. Jeez. Splash of vinegar for sure. I'm gonna leave this out for our dressing. And mirin and or extra sugar as well. So mirin, great when you have it. Super, super helpful. It's got that special kind of sweetness that I find to be delectable. I'm gonna go a little bit more actually. We can always taste this in a bit and see where we like it. But this liquid's gonna be pretty strong. And we're just gonna add a splash of water just to help cover everything in our bowl, in our pan when we get this rocking here. And I'm gonna go for some black pepper. And I'm gonna go for a little bit of MSG as well. And just a pinch of that classic salt. I know we've already added 3 different forms of salt here. Yeah, this would be a really good way to use up stuff like that. I think that that's like, because what we're doing here is making like your sort of just like Japanese catch-all like seasoning broth basically. And there's kind of no way for this to go wrong as long as you're relatively in balance between salty and tangy and sweet. I might add a bit of sugar to this, but this is always a weird one. So if you have regular hondashi powder, which, okay, it's not open yet, but this is hondashi powder. If you are using this, make like a double concentrated little bit of it, and that'll be like your base, your flavor base. I knew I saw this recently. Okay, I wish I checked up here. It's okay, it's okay. So I'm just gonna give this a little stir. MSG for the win. Yeah, that's right. And I think that this has a good unctuous, it has like a good general sort of like soy sauce flavor. I do want it to be a little bit saltier and I do want it a little bit more sugar. So I'm gonna just sort of toss this little bit. Bam, 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 bam. Yeah, just a little bit of that. I'm gonna add more of that soup base as well. A little bit more of this. Need more soy sauce too. Wow, dying over here. All right, and so I would say your order of flavors here: salty, savory near the top, and then sweet, and then you want like a little bit of tang on the finish. So the rice vinegar is gonna take a back seat in this broth. We're gonna use a lot more of it for the salad here. So let's turn this back on the heat. We're gonna go right medium heat, dead center. Once I can hear the pan doing anything, we'll get in there with our liquid and we'll get in there with our chicken. A good uncle flavor. Yeah, true, true. It has been said. Halt, you have violated the uncles. Okay, let's give this another little taste here. That's our stuff. So we're looking for salty first, savory second, sweet third, and then just a little bit of tang on the finish. And that's pretty much spot on. And this is going to be all of the seasoning that much chicken and that much stuff needs. So no other salts going in. This is a gentle profile. So this is gonna go over here. These are ready to rock for whenever the heat's up, and we're good to go. Let's just hack away at our dressing here. We're gonna put away a couple of these. We're not gonna use them in the dressing. The mirin and the soup base and the Maggi is gonna go back in the fridge. And there we go. And I will say, this is pretty classic. So if you want to jazz it up, God knows there's all the room in the world to add stuff to a lot of these sort of like Japanese like 3 flavor classics where it's like sake, soy sauce, and a little bit of salt, pepper, and sugar. You can add fucking any shit you want in the world to that, and you can take it in a very different direction. Oh, look at Cammy's cute little dumplings. She's so good at this. She's so good. We're gonna get those frozen up, and then we'll have our own instant dumplings in the freezer. Okay, so we're heating it back up now. So that was a good little hit of sesame oil, good little hit of rice vinegar here, and a good little hit of soy sauce here. Start with that, although I recognize that I'm pretty low. And a good pinch of salt. And a bunch of black pepper, which I'll always like, so that'll be nice. And so this with the raw scallion and raw garlic should be enough of a kick to sort of take this to done and finished town. I'm gonna get this a nice sort of stir and toss it about. This might be a good job for the gloved hand, actually, but we'll see where we get with just this. Okay, it's sounding like our pan is ready to rumble here, so in with our broth we go. Be sure to spill a bunch of it everywhere. Ha ha ha. Okay, cool. So we're not covering anything, right? We're not going to cover anything. We just want a little bit of broth. The broth is going to reduce and sort of suck into the chicken as it cooks. So we're going to wait until this is brought to like just a bare simmer. I'm just going to get this out here. No, I want the flatter. The flatter serving spoon is going to be great for this, actually. Cool. Yeah, so about this much liquid. So with your whole onion here, it's just about not even really covering the onion. The onion is not being covered by this liquid. When the chicken goes in, the volume will increase because of the weight that's added, yada yada, basic science. Yeah, Oyakodon is pretty unseasoned, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not sure what the Japanese scene is like in London for the most part. I did get to go to one nice place when I was there, actually, with Kazuya. That was a good time. But I don't have a wide selection by any means. Oyakodon is low-key kind of an unseasoned-ass dish, but it is so simple. I definitely get the appeal. I haven't done a lot of work in playing around with the flavor profiles yet myself, just because that sweet, salty, savory is very integral, very key to a lot of Japanese cuisine. I haven't really gone past that much yet. So you see we're getting a little bit of motion, getting a couple of bubbles, right? I'm gonna wait until that increases by just a small amount, and then we'll pop the chicken in, pop a lid on that thing, and it'll basically be cooked in like 5 minutes. So I'm now gonna sort of distribute the chicken nice and evens throughout all of this. Traditionally, when you're making Oyakodon in like a restaurant setting, they have this really tiny little pan. It's like a 5 or 6 inch skillet, right? Or no, wait, this is like a 6 inch, it's like a 4-inch skillet or something. And that holds a single serving of Oyakodon. And so basically you would do this but halved, and it would fit in its own little skillet. And the skillet has, the handle sort of goes straight up here, so he's holding it like this. It's like a big ladle that just holds 1 serving of Oyakodon. And the goal is that you cook it in there, you take it off the heat, and then you just pour it right over the rice, and then that's the whole dish, right? It's kind of beautiful. At some point I might want one of those, but like, if, you know, we cook for more than 1 person around here. So hard to call it useful. Doesn't feel useful. But man, so cute. Anyways, this is all to say, the arrangement you have here is going to be pretty close to the final thing you're scooping into the bowl. So take the time to make this look niceies and make it nice and evenly apart. We're going to just wait for it to hit like a proper simmer with the chicken in. Another piece of onion that I don't like the look of. The fake-ass MSG scare is that those people couldn't eat tomatoes or cheese. Oyakodon always strikes me as one of those minimalist things. Yeah, that's true. The MSG scare thing is really funny because I feel like I don't have enough of a backing in food science to fully understand this. But yeah, MSG is present in lots of foods. Those glutamates are present. I want to say that people can potentially have different reactions to the ways in which they're stored in the plant or the thing that they're eating. But yes, the MSG scare, famously, there is a standing offer if you can bring proof that someone has an MSG intolerance to, I forgot which American university it is. Yeah, okay, yeah, no, glutamate's in your guts as you digest food. There's also acid in your stomach that you're not supposed to eat either. Like, that's all I mean by that. Like, the compounds being the same from place to place doesn't mean that their application in the human body can be treated one-to-one either. Okay, so we got a nice little bubble here. Lid's going on for a couple minutes. I'm gonna turn the heat back down a bit. Just heard our rice pop, so we're getting there. Really quickly, last little thing is we're gonna add the child to the parent bowl. Because right now we got the parent bowl. We need a couple child on that. I need some child on that. No comment. Fuck. Okay, I'll fix you in a bit. I'll fix that in a bit. One egg per person is a fine serving, because famously there is already chicken in this dish, so you don't like you need the protein. But that texture on the top, hoo-wee, can be really nice. And this is not gonna get a real scramble. It's gonna get like a softer sort of thing. I'm gonna be a little gentler to it. I'm just basically looking to break the yolks and sort of like toss it like 3 or 4 times, and that'll be sufficient for what we're doing here. Okay. Yolks broken. Sort of like tossing it around like 3 or 4 times. We got those nice big bits of white and yolk still, which is kind of what you want for the look. And let's finally test the seasoning on this. That's banging. That's perfect. Okay, awesome. Well, so nice and tangy. Complements the natural light flavor of the spinach. Really pleasant. Ooh, sesame seeds are actually a really nice topping on this as well. The yolk respecter. Cool. Shout outs to my roommate for having sesame seeds I can take. And you know what? I know Cammy's gonna want this. Little cayenne pepper, help you digest pepper. This stuff doesn't toss super well, but I kind of like the texture, so I'm just gonna leave it as is. All right, cool. Let's check on our chicken. So you can see at this steady simmer, everything's probably pretty much cooked through. We're gonna do a little testy here. I'm going a little testaroo here. But an important thing is that this should not be at a boil. This is a simmer. These gentle, tiny, fine bubbles, these are a simmer. Simmer and boil are very different temperatures, and you want them to be, you want to know which one you're at. A boil is 200 to 210 Fahrenheit, and a simmer is at like a 190 Fahrenheit. And an actual proper poach is more of like 175. You might have noticed that all those are higher than the temperature for a done chicken. That's true, but it is in liquid, which is going to help keep it from drying out. And it is also going really quickly and really gently, which is going to help keep it from going overcooked and tough and stuff, right? So this should probably be about good. We're going to check a piece, see how it's done. That one fucked up looking thigh is really sort of jacking up my estimate here, and it's very hard to gauge on the outside. But you can see that that's just cutting in half cleanly with a fork, and it is just about cooked through. It's hard to tell with that fucked up piece though. Let me get like a nice clean normal one, please. Thank you. And we see that this thigh is also pretty fork tender here. And more importantly, it is in fact cooked through. This is hot, be careful with your hands. So, once your chicken is just cooked through, we're gonna kill the heat, and we're gonna toss our egg on. And this I want to pour around in a nice circle, right? This is where having those small individual sized pans comes in handy, because one egg perfectly coats it. You're not doing any of this like zhuzhing it around thing. And basically at this point, you now get to sort of decide how cooked you want your egg to be on your serving. I like it on the runnier side. And you just have that glorious sloopy slop with that brothy broth and that gently cooked chicken. And I'm gonna put the lid on for like 20 seconds here. Heat's off at this point, keep in mind. Grab our bowls for serving. Get this rice a little fluff. Very cool. I'm gonna get some nice scoops of rice here. I'm gonna do my serving first. I'm not sure how cooked Cami wants her eggs, but I like mine on the runnier side. So I'm gonna do a nice little bit of rice in the center here. Yeah, that's looking about good. Take this off here. I think I'm looking for a little more action than that, so I'm gonna turn this back on for just 1 second. I got a little ambitious, but I'd rather undercook my eggs than overcook my eggs, so I'm okay with that. Some crap on the stove here. Let's take care of that. Alright, you know what? That's looking about right. So if you want like a slightly slimier egg experience, go ahead and do what I'm doing right now. If you want it a little bit more cooked, go ahead and be nicer to it. And here's where the magic happens. Big, gorgeous ladles of the onion, the chicken, and the broth, and the egg over top of your bed of rice. And then a little extra broth, a little extra egg, a little extra onion. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. We got one nice more spoonful of the good stuff, and then that is basically a really simple Oyakodon that you can make at home. All right, Cami, how's the egg look for you, baby? You want it a little bit more cooked, or is that about good? Probably. Also, dinner's done. Come and have dinner, etc. Zhuzh is apparently a Polari word. Oh, that's really cool. I've always loved zhuzh. Zhuzh just feels great to say. Zhuzh is an awesome word. Alright, so I got the scallions on top here. Oh, you know what also looks so good on top? A little more sesame seeds. Cayenne helps digestion. Yes, that is damn true. Half folk wisdom, half straight up fact. Alrighty. Okay, and folks, that is a little gorgeous Oyakodon at home. Super simple, super easy. Make this ASAP if you like any of these foods. That little, yeah, perfect. Okay, now we're looking nice. So yeah, that's a gorgeous Oyakodon. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We're back tomorrow, same time, same place, for another but very different Japanese chicken dish, chicken nanban. If you haven't heard what that is before, don't even look it up. I'll tell you everything you need to know tomorrow. I will tell you this all tomorrow. And thank you for tuning in, and bye.